Good day, ladies and gentlemen. And today, in honor of just reviewing LEGO Star Wars, today we are here to take a look at a LEGO Star Wars kit. This is going to be the very first of the new and having builds. For those who didn't watch the channel way back in the day, I primarily did and having builds of models, but I did do one a LEGO TIE Defender, which I still have in many pieces in a box somewhere. This particular LEGO kit here is the LEGO TIE Advanced Prototype. First off, Disney, boo, wherever it is on here. Second off, it looks like a cool enough ship, and it doesn't look that heretical. Let's be reasonable. It could be a lot worse. You got the Inquisitor, and well, the Inquisitors in Star Wars were around in the early 90s, so yeah, it's not that big of a deal, I suppose. And it is just a ship after all. And so, for the purposes of this live stream, we're going to assemble 355 pieces of epicness. So with that, allow me to adjust the webcam here. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. We, of course, check to make sure it is streaming, and it is. I decided to go ahead and do a different style of live stream simply because, you know, you can only do so many game-based live streams. You got to do something different now and again. And I really quite enjoyed the and having builds back in the day. I'm just completely eradicating this box, but then again, if I wanted to resell this thing, I couldn't really just reseal the box, now could I? Alright, let's see what we got here. We got 3, we got 2, and we got 1, and a sheet of decals. Not many decals that I can see. And let's take a look at the old instruction manual. So, what we're building is the prototype version of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. I love how they had to have instructions of how to empty the box. If you're so dumb you can't empty a goddamn box, you probably shouldn't be messing with Legos. Just saying. Otherwise you're probably going to eat the goddamn things. Alright. So I've been building Legos since I was a kid. Now I know it's generally supposed to be pronounced Lego, but well, let's be reasonable, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from Texas. We pronounce things the way we want to pronounce them. So step 1 is we build the little dude, the Inquisitor. Now, reviewing LEGO Star Wars was kind of interesting. There's only so much that could be said about a LEGO Star Wars. So I didn't really spend altogether that much time on it, simply because, well, there's his head. I'm not seeing the rest of them. I assume it's in here. Now we'll go ahead and dump out all this crap. I'm sure we'll find what we need in there. But yeah, when it came to LEGO Star Wars, the biggest problem with reviewing that is there's only so much you can really say about it. You know, actually the Inquisitor looks kind of cool. I'm willing to give him a pass. I don't know if you can actually see it from where where you're sitting, but he looks cool enough, I suppose. I think you're supposed to have this little, yeah, he's got to have a little thing on his shoulders. But when it comes to Legos, you know, I was around when they just started up with the LEGO Star Wars kits. Now, I never actually got any back in the day for whatever reason, which I guess kind of sucks to a degree, but oh well. One of the big problems with some of the early LEGO stuff was just finding it. Finding some of that stuff in the store was not an easy prospect. And yes, I'm trying to get the chat on my phone, just in case it's not coming up on here. There we are. And having built the LEGO prototype. We turn that stream audio down. And there I am. Alright. When it came to LEGO Star Wars, though, back then, it was a novel concept that LEGO would actually do such a thing. LEGO kind of did its own thing for a while. It's amazing how much the various LEGO things go up in value. I remember back in the day, I wanted a LEGO lunar lander, and I never got one, just because, well, it was like $40, and it's like, well, you can spend that 40 bucks a lot better. Unfortunately, now they're like 140. There's a lot of Lego kits that, you know, okay, now we got our Inquisitor. He's got a little double-bladed lightsaber. He looks cool enough, I suppose. He will go over there. Now we need to actually build his little spacecraft. Actually, got to build his seat. It looks like that. And we put two little red things on there. I got to pick the right red things. I would like to actually get some of the classic Lego kits from yesteryear. Specifically the Aliens Lego kits. Not Aliens as in Xenomorphs, although that would be really cool. What I would like to get one day is a... they had a special Aliens kit, as in it was like little gray alien kind of things. Check the color there, that looks right. And it was a really neat little set, but they were, of course, pretty expensive back in the 1990s. And that looks like you either hold it on via something. It looks like you do it like that. Actually, no, it must not. Must go a different way. Must have to attach it via something. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Oh, it's a little missiles. Like, don't shoot the things at people. You know, growing up, I never really got the desire to shoot these little missiles at people, just because you do that, it's a good chance that it's going to get lost, and lost fast. Losing Lego pieces was something I hated having happen back in the day. Remember, I had a little Lego scuba dive guy, and the Lego scuba dive guy had these blue goggles that I really, really liked. Unfortunately, ended up losing it down the drain, which was most unpleasant indeed. And let's see here, we got a bunch of crap we need to get. We need a little white thing, and it's okay to be. We need a little gray thing with a connector thing. Now, I do have a couple classic Lego Star Wars things. I got a B-Wing, an A-Wing, a V-Wing, and I also, actually, I got more than a couple. I like how I said, oh, I got a couple, and then I was listing off like all the ones ever made. My favorite kit from that, though, and one that I really don't like having on display, is, of course, my, the reason I don't like it having on display, because if it ever breaks, I'm just going to die, is my Lego Star Wars Slave 1. That Slave 1, actually, it's the Lego Collector's Edition thing. It is a really, really cool set that was very, very expensive back when I had more dollars than I do today. And it's really nice, but you'll always be paranoid of it. Okay, that goes down. Okay, that looks like it's a different one from that. Yeah, it has that thing on the inside. It weighs a great deal, and it always looks like it wants to just fall off of its stand and just immolate itself. I'm not finding that piece. I assume there must be one, but I'm guessing... Oh, wait, there it is. It was lurking under a wing. Alright, let's pop that on there. And let's... I wonder how much anybody can actually see. Because I can't look at that and see... Ah, well, we'll just assume everyone can see what I'm doing. These are the smaller pieces anyway, the boring crap. But that's half the fun of building the old Legos. Now, the one Lego kit I wanted quite a bit, actually, was the absolutely massive Star Destroyer. I think they released them in the late 90s. And I'll check the chat in just a second. I'm trying to build this minutia piece here. I believe they built them in the late 90s. Well, they sold them in the late 90s. They were like $1,000 then, and they've appreciated to half again as much. They're about $1,000 now. And I always thought they were really cool. I mean, they were absolutely gargantuan, but $1,000 for a Lego is a bit steep. Hell, I looked up the price for this thing. I've had this thing in my collection for a couple years now. On Amazon, they want like $70. Even new, some of these Legos have gone ridiculous in terms of price. So, yeah, Legos have never been cheap. And as you would expect, with Hasbro being what it is, they are even worse today. Okay, let's pop that down there. I'll actually pop the headphones on, perhaps invite a few people in to co-commentate, although that's going to be kind of weird. I'm all the way over here, they're going to be on the computer. It's like, it's the future! Incidentally, one thing about the future that I find rather interesting is the phones. The phones are ridiculously advanced these days. You know, you can use Discord and crap on them. It's like, oh my god, it's the future. Okay, so we put that like... Is the gray thing? Okay, no, it is that. Okay, there we go. And we've got a thing. Alright, let me check the chat. Pop the headphones on and in, and we'll see about having someone else join up. Alright, and I'll check the chat real quick. Let's see here. Building Lego. I want to build a next Lego. Invite Proctor to voice chat. Oh yeah, I might do that. A Blocko Computer 64. Shadows of the Empire. That would have been really cool. They do make a V-Wing, but Duplo. Let's see. Let me send some messages. And okay, we shall just await their responses. And until they do, let's get back to work. I've got an extended cable. Oh my god, it's the future. Okay. Well, Rain does that. Let's go to step 8. We gotta put 2 little gubbins on either side. Now, let's see, where was I about Legos? Yeah, that big-ass Star Destroyer I really wanted. I'd be happy with just a little-ass Star Destroyer more these days, but even those things are expensive. But, well, such is the nature of life. Let's see. Then invite whoever in the group or go in the main voice. Okay, we'll see. Alright, let's get back to it real quick. Alright, let's see. So trying to do this on stream and... Okay, put that in the middle. But I also got a Lego B-Wing, which I'm quite pleased to have in my collection. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I see. Okay, so that goes like that. The Lego B-Wing is really kind of finicky to keep together, though. I also have a lot of Lego kits that have long since fallen into obscurity. There was a little line they had back in the day, and I'm talking like way back in the day, and it was a line of jungle adventure sets, sort of like a knockoff Indiana Jones. I had the boat, and I had the plane, and you basically had knockoff Indiana Jones, and for whatever reason his villain was kind of like a knockoff Hitler. Like it was a spitting image of old Addy. It was quite hilarious, actually. There are custom Lego Xenomorphs, and I have one. I also have a Predator and a RoboCop. The biggest Star Destroyer, the Eclipse class. I've seen that, and that looks really, really cool. But once again, that's a custom thing, and custom things are... I always wanted to build a custom Lego ship of some description, and I have, but it was a unique design, by which I mean I just kind of built something that I thought looked cool. I need to show that one day. Basically, it was my vision of a futuristic Halo ship with like plasma cannons and shit. And shit, don't forget that. Okay, I'm guessing this goes like that. And it does. But I also have a few sets from the late 90s. And those sets from the late 90s are the old space sets. Where you have like your basic rocket. I always wanted the shuttle, but I never had that. And these days the shuttle is very expensive. Let's see. That's not, it doesn't go like that. Okay. Getting some of these L shapes to go on is not easy. But there's so... Lego is like... It's sad that Lego has kind of started dying off. Now, once you get 3D printed stuff, you know, you can probably get some of the stuff for cheap as time goes on. A Space Colony Lego set. That ain't bad. Lego Conan the Barbarian. Lego the Phantom. The Aqua Zone sets and space sets. Yeah, the space sets from the 90s were great. I have a couple ice planets. Nothing big, just like a couple vehicles. And put those on the back. Wait, is that going to go on the back? Okay, yeah, I put that on wrong. Trying to get some of this stuff back on is not easy. I kind of would like to also have some of the pirate sets as well. Now, there was a time when Lego sold, well, they used to sell sets wherein you had settlers from the Old West. They did have that, complete with guns. You couldn't do that today, that's for sure. I'm surprised they haven't dug those up and said, Lego's racist or something like that. Alright, let me check the old Discords here. Let's see. Call them up via, not them. Alright, let me see. There we go. And check the chat from there. Mega Blocks. Oh yeah, Lego Halo. Now let me turn you up just a little bit there, Rain. And turn that up. Okay, there we go. I think that will have some audio equalization, maybe. There we got Rage joining.
Okay, here's open.
I'm on my phone, so I can't watch the stream and talk.
Well,
Because I could cause audio problems.
I actually have a custom Lego printer as well. How good am I building Legos? Can it be a long video or a short video? This is really easy compared to some of the other stuff I've done, so I'm already on step 12 of probably like 300 or so, but this isn't really particularly difficult. Let's see, is it... It's step 12 of 46, so yeah, I think I got it covered. Now, by far my favorite Lego set of all time was that boat that they came up with in the late... I think it was early 2000s? I can't remember. Originally it was a flat bottom barge, but, well, young General Lotz was like, that's not good enough. Flat bottom barge, we're going to make it into a fucking battleship. Although it wasn't nearly big enough to be a battleship, but don't tell young me that. Because, like, they used to make Lego guns. They did. And so what I did is, like, I armored the deck and, like, added, like, some AA guns and added, like, cannons and shit. It was awesome. I still have it. It did not get broken. So, what did y'all build, Rage and Rain?
There's actually one Lego kit I know of that actually is non-PG and actually does have a gun, but the way you get it is absurd and expensive.
Is that how you get all Legos?
B.E. Meyer's Maul, which is a dual beam aiming laser.
No, wait, what? A mall?
B.E. Myers pays Lego to make what's called the Mall Man, M-A-W-L Man.
Oh, I never even heard of that.
And they include it with every purchase of the B.E. Myers Mall to military, police, and LEO personnel.
I've never even seen such a thing. Do you have a picture of that? Because I am curious now.
Hold on.
I don't think I ever actually owned this as a child. More than the knockoffs.
Has anyone seen Dan Bill's Dead Mall Abandoned Building videos? I've seen some of that, yeah. Star Fox Toys. Ooh. Oh, I can't actually mention that yet. That's it. I'd like to see a Lego in a SNES R-Wing. Yeah, that would be cool. But But yeah, I am actually thinking about getting back into Star Fox at some point, seeing as how I can now stream Nintendo games without Nintendo going nuts and taking it down. Because I think they changed.
I believe there's like a Lego NES Retro Pi thing.
You can't use their music.
Oh, really? Ah,
There's
bullshit.
plenty of Lego NES Retro Pi things.
That goes all the way down? Yeah, it does. Taking it down. I mean, never mind.
Pi. What?
Okay, how do I assemble that? That goes at the back. Oh, okay, there it goes. It goes on there. But yeah, the 1980s sets predated me by many, many years, unfortunately. So I never got those.
I think you can live stream like the games, but then when it goes to archive, it'll automatically mute the music. I believe.
Oh. Well, that sucks. Ah, well. I'll figure something out about the old Star Fax at some point. Crap. Trying to put some of these pieces on is not an easy prospect. Okay, and we got the studs! We got the studs. That is the stud you're looking for.
Yeah, you have two right here. Me and Rain, we talking about.
Yeah.
Shaw the Elva, impressive.
But I'm fish.
Now, you know what was funny? That joke almost got cut because I couldn't find a stud. I mean, I literally could not find it. Like, oh, it'll be in this box. It wasn't. I went through I was trying to film. Went through every goddamn box trying to find one fucking stud for that joke, and I barely found it. Blue Falcon and racers from F-Zero. That'd be kind of neat. I always wanted a Lego Sulaco, actually. Let's see. We got two of those. Yeah, I had
That
a.
would be awesome.
If I was good at building custom stuff, I would like to make one, but I was never very good at custom. I also like to do
Angry Joe's review of Colonial Marines, he like called it the Solalaco or something. Like, what? It's a Sulaco, damn it.
the Solalaco, huh?
Or something. It was like, what?
The Suko. Okay, so that goes into that. You got one blue thing and one tan thing going into that. But it's amazing how much they got away with back in the day. That you just couldn't.
Jose needs a lot of mental help.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Okay, that pops into that. But yeah, they used to make a late 1800s set. Not to be offensive, the cowboy and Indian set that did exist. I know because I had some. No offense.
Yeah, and they were awesome.
They came with little rifles and little revolvers. In fact, that's just a really dark blue. I think it doesn't come up very well.
They make me ponder if they still sell the plastic cowboy and Indian figures. Probably not. Maybe so.
They'd say it was raycasted. You know it. It can't be.
Yeah, they probably would.
I'm sure that. Yeah, but I'm sure that like be made in China and like probably someone like the dollar store or something.
You never
Yeah.
know.
I just posted up the B.E. Myers Mall Man. There's two versions. There's one you can actually get from the company for a smaller purchase, and there's one you get from buying the Mall C1. Now, understand that dual beam aiming laser that you're buying is almost $3,000.
Holy crap!
That's the only way you get that particular Lego style.
Well, Lego ain't cheap. I should have totally got that Star Destroyer. Because there was an official Star Destroyer release that was something like 10,000 pieces.
Well, here's the thing. The Mall Man is just a Lego, person figure. It is not anything more.
Okay. I was thinking like it's something cool, but if it's just a basic guy, just a basic dude.
It's a Lego guy dressed up in full soldier kit with a, full-on helmet, LBE, nods, Mark 18 with a Maul dual beam aiming laser and light.
Tactical. Okay. Why am I building like one wing here? I'm kind of, there's times when you're building Lego stuff and it's like, what am I building? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's like that. Then you make a little sandwich out of this. It's a winged sandwich.
Sandwich. Okay.
I hope it's boneless.
Oh no, it's a Lego, so... Oh crap. I'm missing a... Oh, I get it. I'm smart. I know how to build. Okay, so you put the little... No. There it is. You sandwich that there. I was putting an... Okay, well, I might be screwed. Because I'm not seeing the thing. Okay, so you go like that. Did I put that on wrong? No? You always wonder if, like...
Did you check out that? No, go on.
I was going to say, I might have put something on wrong. Okay, so you got that. Okay, there we go. I might have put this
and
on.
Said, to answer a previous question, Turok toys were actually made. They were pretty cool.
They were? I don't remember that.
It was about right around 2000. It was based off the Turok 2 series, not off of the others or the comics.
Ah, okay.
Well, this includes my brief cameo. I gotta go, but I'll probably be home later, and if you're still around, I might come back.
Okay, take care.
Alright, see ya.
Alright, see you, dudes.
Okay. There's always one part of any Lego build where it's like, what the hell do I do here? Okay, so it's on the blue side. And it's that. Oh, I see. I used the wrong piece. I know how to build Lego. Okay, so that's when you sandwich the thing, I think. Even though these are all on the... There we go. So you put that there. And then you put this on top of that. Like so. And then you put that on there. I think. I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm doing. Okay, there we go.
Well, that's pretty much every Lego build. Unless you're like what I used to be, which is basically take every piece, separate them by size, type, and then go by that way. And even then, I was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I've got everything organized. Let's get through this.
I don't do too bad when it comes to these things, though, thankfully. And so I hope this doesn't take too long to build. Let's see, so that, I'm already starting it wrong. Okay, so you got that. Then you got the little 3 thing, like so. Actually, hold on, if you do it like that, that goes like, okay, I see. I know what I'm doing, I swear. I gotta check the chat. Trying to do this and checking the chat at the same time, not an easy thing. Let's see.
It's like cleaning a rifle and trying to monitor a forum. Don't ask, I've been there.
I cannot even imagine. It's right. Oh yeah, that's one thing I do want to complain about, though. The AR is not an easy thing to clean. It is not at all obvious at times. It is designed for...
Your first 25 times, yeah, because there's a lot of angles and there's a lot of, especially for someone like me, I've got long fingers and big hands, which means getting a white glove cleaning with an AR, I'm going to bust my knuckles.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, you got to make sure that bolt is out. It's like, wait, am I supposed to take it out or push it in? You know? And half the time I can never remember if you're supposed to take it out or push it back in. You put that over the blue. At least with like that SKS, which is the only thing I really had that much experience with prior to the AR. It's like, it's pretty obvious how it goes. You know, it's like, as they joke on the various forums, it was designed for a stupid peasant. Well, I'm a stupid peasant.
And Vulcan, how easy is it to clean an 8K? So easy that even my goofball rear can, you can hand me a blindfold. I can break it down completely, clean it, get it back together in a short order. I'm not as fast as some of the Russian troops out there. They get ridiculously fast, but you don't even need to see it. You feel your way through it.
Exactly. Whereas that AR, if you don't remember if that bolt's supposed to be sticking out or not, you are screwed. And even then, when I first got the AR, I could not figure out for the life of me. Okay, one moment. Okay. Could not figure out for the life of me how to get that charging handle back in. Gotta find out.
Yeah, you kind of have to wiggle it back in, find the right spot.
had to like eventually. God damn it! Oh,
You remove the bolt and everything from an AK when you clean it, and you break it completely down, but everything fits one way. It's the parts are big and chunky.
and it thankfully does not have a finicky charging handle. There we go. That's more or less straight. We're gonna say it looks straight enough. Good enough for government work, as I like to say. Alright, so we got
In this
that.
case, good enough for Empire contractors.
Exactly. You know, maybe they shouldn't use political prisoners to build their Death Star.
No, they didn't. They used contract labor.
Well, I was trying for the Death Star too, but technically, in the Death Star novel, they did use political prisoners.
Yeah, maybe for building the latrines.
Well, actually, no, I gotta take that back. They used political prisoners to design it. That's what they did.
Okay, that I can kind of understand, which would also kind of explain the ventilation hole problem.
Yeah, there's a character in the novel Death Star who notices it, but is basically like, fuck it, you know. And that was actually a good novel. For those who have not read that, that is far better than that goddamn Rogue One film. Okay, where the hell does that go? How do you even get that? Did I? Okay, I think I messed something up here. Does that go like that? No? Maybe this is supposed to go like this? That's the only thing that actually, no, not even that makes sense. Because if I put that like that, you see, like this shows there's two holes. Now I'm confused. This doesn't look like this would. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to put that. Maybe not. There's always going to be that one piece. Okay.
There's
Yeah.
a joke they call it the IKEA moment. How does this go? Oh wait.
Oh, IKEA. I don't have that much trouble with IKEA, but okay. So I must have. The only thing that makes sense is I must have done this slightly wrong. Because there's supposed to be a gap there. Okay, yeah, that's going to work like that. This is going to go here. That's going to go there. This piece is going to go right here. Now, Mega Bloks was always the knockoff of the various Lego things. But actually, no, it wasn't always a knockoff. I did have this Mega Bloks giant spacecraft thing that was part of no series whatsoever. Sadly, I no longer have all the pieces. But I think it was meant to be like the Death Star.
Yeah, and right after Halo 2, they actually got right around Halo 3, they got the rights to from Microsoft to actually make official Halo kits, which were really good.
Yeah, I got one of those. It is the. Make sure I'm putting this on right. Okay, that the wing and crap is facing that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I got the Mantis. I should have got that bloody Pelican while I still had the chance, but unfortunately I did not. Okay, so now we've got. So after, I don't want to know how long I've been at this. Half an hour. We now have a wing. We got part of a wing and kind of part of the cockpit done. That's not too bad though. It's going fast enough. And I want to be done by 8:30. The only problem with Mega Bloks is the fact that they generally are very. They're not as modular as Legos are. You know, they have like one big chunk of something. Like with the Mantis, you've got the cockpit cabin where Master Chef takes up his residence.
Yeah, they could have done some things a little bit better, but I can't entirely blame them.
Well, yeah, it's a lot easier just to mold that than a bunch of little pieces. Alright, and we got one dude with a messed up face and one dude with just an angry face. I don't know what he's so mad about. The angry face guy, he goes in the TIE Fighter suit because he is tired of having to breathe recycled air. And by this point in the war, it probably does not smell very sweet, I can tell you that. And he's also mad that he doesn't have like an inertial compensator, which means technically he should totally not be able to fly nearly as fast as his rebel counterparts. His little G couch shouldn't be nearly as good. But whatever, we're going to ignore that because sci-fi. Alright, we're actually, since we got a TIE pilot here, he really shouldn't even have a blaster because if he crashes, he's probably going to be dead. There's his legs. Now, I actually have a little TIE pilot micro machine that has like robo eyes. It's really cool. I don't know what set that came from, but I still have him. Alright, we got our Imperial officer here. He loves riding Article 14s, and he also loves dual wielding. So there's our Imp officer with his dual wielded blaster pistols and his pin of doom. And we've got our pilot, who really, really would love to have an inertial compensator. Alright, now that we got all those guys out, we are on 19 of, let's see, 46. So we're making good progress. We'll be done in half an hour. Alright, so now we got to get a little bridge-shaped thing and put it on the back. So Rain, what is your favorite Lego set of all time? Like, of all the ones you've ever put together, which one is the one that you enjoyed building the most? And crap. You never want to hear that sound. When you hear just something snap off, it's like, no! Where is that?
Well, of kits, I would have to say it's a toss-up between either one of the very first Lego Technics kits, which was fairly advanced car model, which, you know, fully working axles, all that, fully working suspension. That, or I kind of miss the Lego boats that you could actually get that would fully float, because a lot of us got creative and just stuck remote control rudders and propellers on them and just goofed around in city pool and stuff like that.
That sounds pretty cool. I don't think I ever had anything quite like that back in the day. I did have, though, a little yellow Lego raft. What they used to have is they had this thing where you could send off to Lego for like these mystery kits, and these weren't like one figure. This was a lot of real shit. And, like, I got a lot of cool stuff from that, like this really awesome astronaut figure that had like these plasma cannons. Because when you go to explore the moon, you gotta have plasma cannons. 365.
Asteroids and all that. You never know.
Well, I think there's like a commercial where I think it's like a beef jerky commercial or something where like some sort of random monster pops out and like eats Neil Armstrong. I remember seeing that on Facebook a number of months ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it definitely wasn't Slim Jim, because if it was, it'd be the reanimated spirit of Randy Savage. And you'd be handing him a Slim Jim.
Now that would be an interesting matchup, though, that random monster versus him. My money's on Macho Man.
Haven't met the Macho Man, I gotta say. You're not wrong in taking that bet, brother.
No, that's something that reminds me. There was one time I went as a wrestler for Halloween. I don't even remember the Halloween or where I was or any of the particulars, but I do remember the costume because I found it when we were moving. Sadly, I ended up chucking it, but whatever. Throwing that away was over 10 years ago. Some of you weren't even born yet when I did that. But I do have it on good authority that I went as old Randy Savage. Where the hell does this go?
Actually, there's a company called Barbershop Windows, Barbershop's Window, sorry, wrong pluralization, where you can actually buy replicas of Randy's various different shades throughout the season, including and as well as his bandanas.
Nice. I need a gray one, but I can't find a gray one. I found a black one. It's like Did they include the wrong one? That's the question. Or am I just not seeing it? Unless that's it. Is that supposed to be a black? Is that supposed to be a gray? Oh, it's supposed to be a black one. Well, I can see colors. Oh, wait. Wait, is that raycast? Or is it not? They change that so often.
I know, right?
Okay, let's swap the gray one for a black one. I'm trying to be raycast about it. Alright, let's put that on there. Like so. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, next week's vlog is going to be rather interesting. I basically have had a variety of epiphanies over the past week of moving forward with life. And it's probably the most positive vlog any of you will have seen in some time. It's a rather interesting thing to have a little epiphany like that. And I'm quite glad I finally had that. Getting things...
And the part you may be looking for, I don't know if it's in the other bag or not.
I already found it. Wait, or which part? The gray thing? Yeah, I put a black thing with a gray thing. So I figured that out, thankfully.
Also, if you're getting, pain while using a keyboard and mouse, you might be experiencing repetitive stress injury. They make braces for that, for stopping carpal tunnel. Highly recommend you pick those up. Those will correct a lot of wrist pains. They're not expensive either. You just go to a Rite Aid and pick them up.
I was having some hand problems a few months back. I ended up changing out a mattress pad, and I ended up having that go away. I think my hand was getting trapped between the pad and the wall, and I was hurting myself with that.
That can happen. I mean, I just changed pillows in my bed, and for the first, week, my neck just was absolute wrecked.
Yeah, that is always annoying when that happens. Or when I got a new pillow recently, and unfortunately... Actually, wait, did I put that in wrong? I must have. Or maybe not.
And Vulcan, you don't just get tendonitis from something. It's RSI. It's...
Okay, good.
That situation where you thought you got it from, that just flared it up. It's always been there. It's just that made it worse.
And okay, that's not it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, trying to get a new pillow was not an easy prospect for me. Nothing's ever an easy prospect these days, I suppose, but it just ended up being more uncomfortable than the ones I already had. Okay, wait, I need another one of those little sand wedge pieces. Yeah, the Lego Technics were always an interesting set to have. Now, I didn't have too many of those, but the ones I did have were always kind of nice. I always wanted to build, but never did because I lacked the skill to. I always wanted to build, because somebody did build one, a difference engine out of one of those. It was like, oh man, that's the coolest thing ever. It's like, well, yeah, that might be one of the cooler things ever, but the odds of you actually building one that works. Actually, I was in high school when I discovered that, and I asked my grandfather about it, and he was like, yeah, we should totally try to build that. And then he started bringing up hexadecimal, and my brain shut down, and that project ended right then and there. I'm still not sure what a hexadecimal even is to this day. I know it was a villain in the old Reboot cartoon, but...
Mathematical interpretation of data. This is way, way, way too early in the night for me to start breaking out hexadecimal tables, and I'm way, way, way too sober to fully explain it, but...
Well, it's just something I never... You gotta remember, I'm bad at math, and so when he started bringing that stuff up, because he was very good at math, and as far as I know, still is. So he actually knew what all that crap was, and they started talking about Boolean algebra, and
God, flashbacks. Hexadecimal I can get by with, I'm not so bad with, but we start talking Boolean curves, like, okay, yep, reminded of college, and suddenly I remember why I'm not a programmer anymore.
Yeah, see, he knew that stuff at one time, and I assume he still does, but let me put it this way, when it comes to me, he was the math man, and I was the not. Because, damn, when he started talking about that, like programming assembly lines and crap like that, it's like I had no idea what he was talking about. I knew he must have been still speaking English, but I did not know what he was saying.
And honestly, as fancy as I'll get is occasionally I'll read up like. Those who know me know that every now and again I get the wild hair up the posterior about theoretical physics. I'll read a theory, it's like, that's really cool. And occasionally I'll, put a program on the PC, break out the graphing calculator, and see if, to the best of my ability, does their theory stack up. Which means I'll get into trigonometry, I'll get into calculus, but you start talking Boolean curves, that's when I pretty much say, okay, I'll look at the peer review. I won't take your word for it, but I'll look at the peer review.
And I'll just nod politely and say, math good? What's funny is I remember back when I was in high school, many, many years ago, probably before some of you were even born, fucking stickers. Or decals, as we like to call them in the modeling world, never go on right, especially when you're trying to use your chunky sausage fingers. But I'm not going to go get like a hobby knife or something. Okay, there we go. It's close enough, ladies and gentlemen. It's close enough. That's all we care about. It's good enough for Empire. Okay, there we go. I'll check the chat in a minute. Because I cannot chat and build crap. And I'm not looking forward to the day that I finally decide to build the massive V-Wing starfighter that I have. No, not V-Wing, the big clone trooper thing. Because I have one of those that I have not built yet. That's just sitting in a box. Probably the most complex Lego construction outside of the Slave 1 Collector's Edition, which isn't on its stand because I'm always terrified that goddamn thing's going to come crashing down, never to be rebuilt ever again. The LAAT is probably my favorite. I have a poster of that. Now, where the hell is that piece? That took days. So Rain, what was like the most complex model you ever put together? Assuming you did plastic modeling, which I'm going to come out on a limb and assume you did.
Most complex in terms of pieces.
There it is.
Or most complex as in, okay, here's what the kit is supposed to be. Here's what we give you. Now try to make it this.
In terms of like pieces, like a typical, like Ravelli kind of thing.
Okay, that one. I can't even remember who made it, but there's this company that actually made a version of the German-occupied French railgun.
There.
And there's one made by Tamiya now, which is like absurd, which I really want to build. It's redonkulous on every level, and it's a $300 model kit.
Damn.
Well, it also is one fully built, 6 feet long, and if you were to put it on the floor, it would come up to my hip. So it's over 3 feet tall.
That is pretty huge. Okay, did I put this on wrong? No, I did not, but crap. Must have done something wrong. For me, my most complex build would have to be the NX-01 Enterprise. That is by far the largest of anything I've ever constructed. It's a 1/350th scale model, and that took many, many months to construct. And the problem with that is I ended up putting the nacelles on wrong like an idiot. So one of these days I got to dig that out. I haven't bought a giant box to put it in. And then
That's
of course,
okay. Remember, the nacelles on that ship were originally Gillette razors.
No, I did not expect that. Really? Is that going to be like that too? You know, I know people didn't like the Star Trek Enterprise show, but I found it to be pretty good. I'm kind of weird in that regard, in that I can see the good in that show, regardless of.
It was entertaining.
I think the best part of the show was season 4 anyway, right before it was canceled. Let's see, can I just get away with putting it in like that? Ooh, I think I can. No, wait, yeah, there we go. And no one will be the wiser.
And Jason, awesome taste, my friend. The Scaramanga's golden gun from the 007 movie was a pretty badass creation. If I could find a machine shop, you better believe I would build an actual working version.
Now that was like a 4mm kind of thing. Okay, now no one pay attention to the fact that I messed up with one piece. No one noticed that there's a little white piece sticking out. Do not notice that. It's not my fault. I blame the chat. I blame the last person who chatted. I blame you, Darth Chihiko. It's your fault. How could you? You sabotaged the production! At least I'm going to say you did. Oh, what the hell is that thing? Oh, okay, that's it.
Actually building Scaramanga's golden gun, you know, actual functional, wouldn't be too hard. You could probably make it 32 ACP.
Oh, there's where that thing is like that. This isn't on right.
Or actually thinking about it, you could probably get it to fire 5.7. 5.7 by 28.
Huh. Now, would it actually be good for anything? That sounds like something that'd be like a quart, or a quart, or whatever it's called.
Court?
Yeah.
Court makes awesome revolvers.
That's that. Did I do... Okay, I did do that. I'm going to end up putting that on wrong. Okay, so one of these things is on wrong. One of these wings is shorter than the other. Oops. Crap. No! Come back here.
And Epic Jason, actually, nobody's done it officially, but there has been Lego Colonial Vipers and such from Battlestar. And they are pretty awesome.
I do have a plastic kit of the reimagined Battlestar Galactica. Have not built it yet, though. And there's a lot of plastic kits I still need to build, including my Venator class Star Destroyer, which I still have not done. Started painting it many years ago, and ended up just kind of shelving it for a little while. It was a nice kit, though. The big problem with Lego is, like, Lego is substantially easier to build, but much more expensive. Their Venator now is like $300, whereas the plastic one was a mere, I think, like $30.
As much as I love it, everyone here, you love your wallet, don't get into 40K.
Now that's a fact. And, okay, so I fucked up a few minor things. No one's gonna notice. No one will notice. Don't point it out. Just leave me alone.
No survivors.
Where the hell is that thing? It's gonna be a little lumpy and a little lopsided, but I don't feel like completely tearing that apart to try to fix it, especially on stream, because that'll take forever to do. Let's see, because we're already on step 24, we're like halfway done, assuming I'm good at math. Okay, so that's like that. So basically, here's the problem. There's just a few pieces that are going to be off a little bit, because I put it slightly to the side, just ever so slight. Now see, if you could do that with a Lego, just imagine what can happen when you're trying to do something like legitimate, like with proper mechanics. If it's like one, like
Welcome to my everyday of building an autococker.
Yeah,
You
1/1000.
got 3 valves, you got 1 piston, and you have to time the entire thing to work because it's not some simple, device. It'd be like, best way to put building an autococker paintball marker is, okay, say you have this really awesome pump action shotgun. Now, say you got a wild hair up your rear to make it a semi-auto. That's exactly what it is. That's what the term autococker means. It's basically a pump gun which has been changed into a semi-auto.
And thanks to Forgotten Weapons, I also know that they tried to do that with bolt actions.
Actually, with a bolt action, it would be easier.
Really? Huh.
Bolt action usually has a rotating bolt head. That makes things a lot simpler in terms of kinetic force versus having to actuate the slide assembly of what is essentially a tilting barrel. Tilting bolt.
Yeah, that is kind of beyond my pay grade, I'll tell you that. I wouldn't have a clue how to do any of that stuff. Of course, then again, well, I've always liked mechanics and stuff like that. I've never actually tried any of that stuff over the years, although I likely should at some point just to see. For me, when it comes to building anything, I primarily just, my skills end at building PCs, and even then, actually I was going to say even then I'm not very good at it, but, well, I guess I kind of am, seeing as how I'm streaming this. If I wasn't good at it, this wouldn't be working, now would it? But like building mechanical crap that moves, I've tried. No, I go on.
That's why I wish they'd bring back the Lego Technics kits, because those taught you both, the building of Lego and, okay, make something work as well. I really enjoyed that, especially the robotics kits.
Yeah, that stuff always was too expensive, though, for me back in those days.
Oh, it's expensive. It's expensive no matter how you slice it.
Okay, good.
I never owned the kits. I got a chance to play around with them, but I never owned any.
Oh, okay. Now, speaking of stuff that eats money out of your wallet, one thing that doesn't, that I kind of want to get into at some point in the next year or so, is crap. Now, shit. It's a very obscure tabletop game called Crap Shit. You don't really see it very often. It's kind of like Fatal in that way.
Humor.
It's kind of like Fatal in that regard. Oh, no one's going to get that, but...
Oh, I got it. And roll for anal circumference check.
But in all reality, it is a game known as Battletech. I stumbled across the novels again. I had a couple, but I never bothered reading them. And it actually looks pretty cool. The game itself is substantially cheaper than 40K. And it looks to be a bit easier to get into. Giant robots beating the shit out of each other. How can you possibly go wrong?
There's two ways you can go wrong, but thankfully one is technically confused as semi-canon / non-canon. So,
Okay, I didn't take these out far enough. Oh, canon. How we confuse thee. Of course, now with Star Wars, there is no canon. There's Disney crap, and then the classic EU. Oh, and for those who may be wondering, there are indeed some old... There's an old Star Wars writer who probably doesn't want to be called old, named Kathy Tears, who said that the EU was better than anything new created these days. I was like, yes! Yes, I do it!
no, the creator of Captain Marvel has pretty much told Disney off.
I still have not... I was going to watch that, but then I did not get a chance to do so, unfortunately. Okay, we can assume that goes there. Okay, that's... But okay, that one's messed up, but nobody noticed. This one isn't. This one is just slightly off. So, whoever gets... it's a prototype! It's a prototype, ladies and gentlemen. It's got to be kind of messed up. Otherwise, it's not a prototype. So, see, I was making it even more authentic than it already was. And I'll check the chat just a second, because I don't... This is going on at a pretty good clip. One starfighter I really wanted from back in the day... I like how this right here, ladies and gentlemen, assuming you can see it, this is just a battle droid torso painted gray. I don't even know what this is supposed to be, but it's like, that's what it is. It's a battle droid painted gray.
Unidentified Greek, please.
Sierra Mega Gun made the black hole. Now they're the black hole. Exactly. I'm putting this stuff on my bed. I hope I don't forget it. And I was going to say sleeping with it, but I'm not that attached to it. Okay, and we got the little backing plate. And we got that. Now, for those who are wondering how solar panels work in the vacuum of space away from all the various suns, well, it works by being cool. That's how it works. Okay. Shit. You know what?
In the vacuum of space, assuming you get it to face a star, it actually worked quite well because it's now capturing a larger spectrum of radiation, and it doesn't have to deal with any type of problems eliminating waste heat. So it actually worked better. And now, as soon as it's no longer facing the sun, you got a problem.
Exactly. So it must just be really, really efficient in storing electricity. Okay, I figured out what the problem was on this side. It's just slightly, ever so slightly off. Just ever so slightly off. And I'd have to completely disassemble and reassemble that wing, and I really don't want to do that. So you'll be getting a just ever so slightly off starfighter. It's the Inquisitor. Who cares? Nobody likes him. I don't even know who that is. It's the Inquisitor. Oh, unless it's Gregor Eisenhorn, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's Inquisitor Krypton. He'll be a red shirt after being denounced.
Good. Alright, there we go.
Actually, I say that Krypton was the Inquisitor who unfortunately first encountered the Tyranids.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy. I would actually remembered him a lot sooner had I not been trying to build this thing. Okay, there we go. It's slightly off. No one cares, especially me. Alright, so now we gotta put some things. Okay, let me check the chat since I'm by my phone. Definitely an awesome gun. Add making a combat where you could buy a replica. Is that a thing? I certainly don't remember that. But then again, I was kind of clueless back in those days. Okay, so we've got three things. Where do those go? Okay, it goes on that side. And where's the other one? Alright, this is going on pretty good. Okay, so then this should go there. And this one should go. This one's probably going to be just a... No, it's not. It's fine. You can definitely tell that there's a gap because that one's just ever so slightly off. But it's not that bad. I put my own unique spin on it. Okay, there. It's my own unique version of the TIE Fighter. We're just going to call it that. Where is the other thing? Is that... Okay, and that's... Like that. At least that's right. Now, of course, the old TIE Advance, that was something that everyone was a big fan of with the old TIE Fighter games. Now, of course, they weren't that amazing, the TIE Advance. I mean, they weren't bad, but they were not nearly as good as the missile boats. I'd like to have a Lego missile boat, because those things were literally just death incarnate. And they even had like they had that Scram engine and stuff like that. It was a really, really cool vehicle from the TIE Fighter games. Now, I am going to review TIE Fighter 1, and holy crap! Thank you, Darth Chihikyo. $20 ain't bad. And the Outrider more than the Falcon. Well, you make Dash Rendar happy. And I do have an Outrider now. It was actually Darth Chihiko who inspired me to get it. And one day, I just looked up on eBay, saw that they had one, I snapped it up. It was without a box, but, you know, I happen to like certain things that don't come in a box so I can actually display it. Because when it's in a box, you don't want to take it out of the box. And oh my god, that's what the torso's for. Okay, the obvious torso here. This is the steering column for the ship. That's what the torso is for. I mean, come on. You can at least model... I get the idea. Well, they're not even keeping costs down because it's like a $50 model, but it's like, come on. It's obvious what it is. Okay, so I really feel bad for the old Inquisitor because you know what? This TIE Advanced prototype here. Not only is one of the wings wrong, which means it should blow itself up when you try to start it, but all I've given him is an old battle droid torso, probably dug out of the junkyard somewhere, to fly it with. I guess I'm a rebel sympathizer then. It's like, screw the Empire, man. Although I would say that in real life. Because the Imperator is not exactly what one would call a particularly benevolent government, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you generally don't want to say that unless you got large amounts of ordnance and know how to use it.
You know, it's kind of interesting to see how the old Rebs were able to defeat the Empire. Now, obviously, any Disney canon is, of course, crap, but, you know, that was a very long and complex war that was, of course, much more realistic than anything Disney could produce. It was actually where the Empire didn't so much as get defeated by the rebels, so much as it destroyed itself. Which makes sense because it was an absolute power dictatorship. So once the dictator was dead, well, you run into the issue of it wasn't anything based upon loyalty. You know, no one was really particularly loyal to the Empire. They were loyal to the power of the Empire. And so once Palps was dead, well, everybody wanted a piece of that proverbial pie. And... No good?
Yeah, essentially, he didn't have much of a cult of personality going on. He had a cult of fear. And
now, to enforce that fear, we have one TIE Fighter cockpit that's kind of off. But hey, you know, once again, I'm low bid. Okay, they bidded low, and that's what they got. They should not have bidded so low. They should have paid me a real amount of money. In fact, he only gets one little vent there. So yeah, the heat's going to be pretty bad on this one. Unless, of course, I move that over there. Actually, I'm not even going to put that over there. So he just gets one coolant vent. That's all he's got. Because, you know, fuck the Empire. Fuck the Empire, man.
Hope they got good heat sinks, because that thing's got worse ventilation than a Nova Cat.
And let's see. Well, at least he's going to get all of these, it seems. But all it is just the one heat sink on there. Let's just hope he didn't overclock the fighter. Alright, so there we go. This is pretty much finished. Now all we got to do is build the wings. Alright, we're on to number 3. Let's get all the spares out of the way. I'll check the old chat here. See what anyone has to say. This is gone by pretty fast. It was almost like I know what I'm doing, except for the fact that it's messed up. There we go. Yeah, the last plastic model I built, not the last Lego model I built, was a Klingon cruiser. I found it at a garage sale for like $5. It had been opened, but no work had been done on it. Klingon cruiser from Star Trek VI. And building that was not easy simply because it had that neck. And that neck was just so thin. And it's getting that to stick together was such crap. I couldn't even use basic modeling cement. I actually ended up having to use like some kind of, well, I was gonna say super glue, but that's not what it was. So I don't know what kind of glue it was because it was years ago, but it was like the most strong glue I could find. And even then that goddamn thing snapped off when I tried to move it. Okay.
That's why I don't recommend getting the Warhammer 40k, because the resin kits, and especially some of the modern plastics, not counting, no, let me rephrase that, the modern plastics of 10 years ago. You're going to be using a very small drill bit, X-Acto knife, super glue, plastic glue, zip kicker, and what we jokingly refer to stuff, which is actually Neatitite. And yeah, a lot of those model kits, without the Neatitite and without, you know, drilling and installing pins, they're not going together.
And what's kind of sad about that? Like, okay, so you got Warhammer 40k, right? It's super popular, and yet, I mean, it's so ridiculous. You spend $100 on a model, and you still got to paint it, and you got to assemble it.
No, it's not even that. It's the fact that, okay, let's take this back to when prices for 40k were more reasonable. I'm not going to say completely reasonable, because that means we got to go when the models look kind of goofy, and that's, you know, mid-90s, like early mid-90s, like up until 95.
Okay, that is a great piece.
Okay, let's say you're going to want to assemble a squad of Space Marines. Well, if you're going by when 40k really got good, which is 3rd edition, you would have spent early 3rd edition about squad of 10 Marines, run you about $30. Now it'll run you 50 if you're in the US. You still got to buy super glue, you still got to buy zip kicker, still got to buy Neatitite, and you're going to want to buy we call it pin vise, which is a very, very small drill bits of, you know, 2 millimeters and smaller. That model isn't going to go together easily at all. In fact, for certain conversions, certain things that you want built, you can't buy. You have to make it yourself.
See, that is something I just wouldn't do. That's why once I get into the tabletop wargaming genre, I am definitely going to stick with only frame posters on the wall is Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat the movie, and Full Gore is cool. Killer Instinct. I know I kind of went off topic from, you know, getting into tabletop gaming, but Killer Instinct. No, I go on.
Go ahead. It's your topic. Go for it.
Killer Instinct. That is a classic fighter that doesn't get really talked about as much as it should. I know it's got a game on Xbox Live, but that was actually a lot of fun back in the day. And I remember there was a lot of mortal controversy over that too. People saying it was super violent, but like that was such a silly game compared to, well, most games in the 90s were silly. Let's be reasonable. Let's be 100% reasonable and just admit that right now. But like Mortal Kombat, okay, maybe if you were an idiot, you could say like, it's teaching the children the violence, even though once again it's ninjas, you know, beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, I was a martial artist at that time. I never learned how to rip someone's spine clean out of their body.
We did go to a better school then. It's like,
I learned how to break a guy's arm in several different locations, how to break a guy's leg in several different locations, and how to, you know, launch a pretty mean suplex, but never learned how to rip a guy's heart out still beating, or yank a guy's spine clean out.
well, did they at least teach you how to like throw a grappling hook at somebody and then pull them over?
No, I can kill a guy with my bare hands if I came down to it, but can't say grappling hooks are too often used. The weirdest, most esoteric weapons that I've learned to use are mother and son hammers, Chinese chain whip, and 3-sectional staff.
You got gypped. I mean, come on.
Tell me about it.
You got to learn. Can you at least shoot ice? I mean, come on. That's like the easiest thing ever.
Oh, if there was a martial art which could, be used to throw fireballs, I would pretty much consider selling off all my stuff and becoming a monk.
That would be kind of cool. Well, you know, I find it funny. Liu Kang in the game can shoot fire, but he can't do it in the movie. I'm not too
Well, he
surprised.
sort of did at the very last fight.
Yeah, but I always figured that was more like he was in a magical place until he kind of sucked up some magic. Okay, is that... Okay, good, that is that. Oh, God, look at the size of that sticker. Oh, you can't see it. There we go. Look at the size of that sticker. I gotta try to use my sausage fingers here to do it. Oh, wait, no. Oh, shit. Hey, it fell. It fell good. Okay. I use English good when I build models. There we go. And I'm not in frame. And there we go. We got it. We got it. We got a piece of the wing. Do it. I gotta do this twice. Okay, well there's one. Let's go all the way back. It's like you gotta do that twice, and so I don't remember how I did it. Let's see. There's that one. There's that one. Now I just gotta find the little four square. Now, when it comes to Lego games, I mentioned that like Lego games weren't taken particularly seriously prior to Lego Star Wars, and they weren't. Before Lego Star Wars, you had games like Lego Racer, which wasn't very good. It was a basic racing game. I played it on the N64 and found it to be kind of...
The N64 version was... It lived up to that. It was kind of meh. But the PC version wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I never played that version. And it was kind of... Well, even then, it's like... That was before... That was when Lego was trying to have its own identity, which it kind of does to a degree now, but no one really seems to care too much about it. The Lego identity, the Lego universe, I guess is the best way to put it. You know, with like the city sets and stuff like that. Back then, that's what they really were pushing, because Lego Star Wars was many years off. And it always just looked kind of cheap more than anything else. That's really how it came off.
It was being pushed to be quote-unquote edutainment software, and they realized, oh wait, there's nothing we can really teach, so budget games.
And then there was Lego Island, where they tried to have like some characters. There was like some like jailbreak Jake or something, and like you had to throw pizzas at him. It was a very it was very 90s. Let's just put it that way. It was a very 90s thing that did not age well. I'd like to review those games, but I can only imagine how difficult they are to get working on a modern day PC. And I don't think they're on GOG because I don't think anyone cares.
No, you're gonna have to find a way to actually getting it to actually run won't be so hard. The problem is getting it to. You're gonna need something. A software layer to actually reduce the CPU cycles that it takes up.
It's one of those games. Ugh. I remember that being annoying back in the day with like DOS. Because like if you get like if you got like some kind of a DOS game and you didn't run it at the exact CPU cycles, it like run way too fast, it'd be utterly unplayable. That was annoying even then.
Yeah. Thankfully, DOS box has gotten a lot better.
Well, there needs to be like a Windows box, you know, for some of those games, like Windows 95, 98, stuff like that. Because there's a lot of games for that system, for that system, for that OS, that were actually not bad, but you just can't play them unless you actually have that system running, or you have a GOG version, and you know unless you have a GOG version. And they do a good job getting a lot of older games to work. Case in point, Diablo, their recent Diablo release, which I picked up not too long ago, runs surprisingly well.
I need to check if that actually works with the Hellfire expansion.
I would be very surprised if it did, just because I think the Hellfire expansion was a unofficial thing.
Yeah, it's unofficial, but it was made using the exact same tools and the exact same source code.
Yeah, there might be a way to hack it to make it work with that. I have not actually played Diablo 1 all the way through, so I'm not there yet to where I really, really want to play that. Now, I do know the Hellfire expansion added some character classes, tweaked a few things, and things of that nature. I came to Diablo really late, though, long after it had gotten popular. I'd heard that it existed, but I took one look at it and saw it as a game that you top down and other crap. I never really liked that. When I finally played Diablo 2, and I've actually played that online, when I finally played Diablo 2, I was quite impressed by that. I played that multiplayer with a system called, well, not system, but with a program called Game Ranger, and it worked remarkably well. It was one of those, oh my god, it's the future moments, because I played it with people halfway across the country and in another country. And
I spent unholy and unjustifiable amounts of time on that with the rest of the staff working the comic shop and other friends. Which, you know, it's weird when, okay, you know, you're at a weird point in life when your boss, who owns said comic shop, basically tells you to come in late because he wants you to level a character for him and find the right loadout.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. Let's see. Anything on the chat? I know you're not a horror fan, John, but recently a personal favorite slime. Ooh, Wishmaster. There was going to be a review of that. I just haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, the Wishmaster series of movies, most of them were crap, but the first one was very entertaining. I quite liked it, actually. And I was going to review that one day, but it just never... It's one of those things where you plan to do a lot of reviews, but it just doesn't ever work out. You run out of time, or, you know, you run out of time, or something comes up. And I was going to review Wishmaster 1 a number of years ago, but we got wings now. We got wings. One wing is slightly longer than the other, but that's okay. No one's going to notice. Especially the Inquisitor. He's not going to notice. All he does is sit around acting evil. How would he know how anything even works?
Yeah,
but
good news, bad news. He won't notice it. Bad news for him. Good news for everybody else.
yeah. Hey, that's something I was thinking about. Like, okay, so you got like these super bad guys, right? They're all killing people and everything. That's all they like to do. Do they even know anything? Like, do they have any knowledge of anything? Or it's just all they do is just kill people. And so, like, they couldn't even, like, change a light bulb without using, like, a servant.
Well, it depends. Like, your typical evil genius, I'm going to call no. Because, let's go goofy and say Mandark from Dexter's Lab. Okay, he's got to be skilled in all schools of science. Good luck with that. Because the mind required for, say, nuclear physics is much, 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 much different than that of an electrical engineer or a mechanical engineer.
See, that's kind of interesting when you think about it. It's like, Batman, he knows all the science. It's like...
to which I call hokum.
Yeah. It's just like, he knows all of the science. Like, he can even do, like, the, what is that called? He can do forensic psychology. He can do, criminal pathology. He can do all of that, right? He's got a super memory. There you go. In addition to being super rich. You know, if they said that, I'd buy it, actually. It's like, he's a metahuman, but he's got a super memory, and that's why he can do all the science.
This is why I prefer the Shadow and the Phantom. They give the impression of being, oh, he knows all this, he knows all that. No, they've both got networks of people who know those specific fields far better than him.
Yeah, that makes more sense than not. Too bad Phantom and all the rest are, sadly, no one ever really remembers them.
Yeah, they're both kind of limited. But that being said, there have been recently new Shadow graphic novels and comics, which have been pretty good.
which is surprising, but seeing as how Batty is pretty much dead along with everyone else, that is refreshing to think that there's still some superheroes left alive that haven't been completely SJWized.
Batman hasn't been SJW'd as bad as most. Now, you want to talk real bad SJWing at everything Marvel right now. Everything Vertigo now, which is really disappointing because back in the 90s, I used to love Vertigo. That was my favorite comic label outside of the really esoteric and unusual underground stuff.
And that goes on top of here. Okay, but that would go there. But there's nothing to put on there because... What did I mess up?
And yeah, Darth, I know, and I'm not looking forward to it because here's the thing. I've read Song of Ice and Fire, and I've read from the same author, Hedge Knight.
Oh, I just didn't move that down right.
And while I will be the first to call out George R.R. Martin as not always being the best writer, sometimes falling into the trope of just being vicious to be vicious, the TV series ain't like the books. And likewise, I don't like the TV series. So I'm not looking forward to them doing an Old Republic, based fiction. It's Disney. It's my least favorite aspect of the Game of Thrones franchise. I don't see much good.
And even then, it would require... Just because they're going to do it doesn't mean it's going to be good. I mean, let's be reasonable. Revan wasn't particularly a good novel. I did that 4 times. Okay, we got a wing. We got a wing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, how the hell... Okay, so I assume we attach this here. We got a wing! Let's try to attach it without destroying the entire bloody thing. Okay, there we go. We got wing 1, ladies and gentlemen. Now all we gotta do is 4 more. I think. Yeah, we got 4 more to go. Alright, let's do it all again. Actually, that shouldn't be that hard. There's not that many pieces to go into that. When it comes to Old Republic, like, the Revan novel wasn't particularly amazing. I still need to read that, by the way. I just know what happens in it. It's where they kill off Revan. I mean, he lives happily ever after with Bastila. I also didn't like the fact that they made him some generic guy, either. Because it's like, you should, when you have an RPG character, you shouldn't give him, a official look. That was something that kind of annoyed me with KOTOR 2, where they made the Jedi Exile canonically a chick. Not that I'm sexist, but it's like, I played it as a dude, goddammit. And then, Revan was just all sorts of crap when it came to just completely... See, people complain about how the fans have been screwed over these days. Holy crap, no, ladies and gentlemen. The fans were screwed over long before Disney even put their grubby mitts on everything. The novel Revan basically killed off every beloved KOTOR character that there was. Everyone died. In fact, it just was a giant middle finger to the fans in many instances. Revan got used as a force battery. The Jedi Exile was straight up shot in the back. It seems like every cool character gets either shot in the back or thrown off a bridge. The character of T3M4 was also killed because, of course, he had to be, and it just I think I know why they did it. At that time, the MMO that was coming out, as we all... Did you ever play that MMO, Rain? I don't think I ever asked you that.
Yeah, it was... I still got it on the shelf. It was interesting and kind of broken. It was fun, but it just... That fun didn't last long.
See, I got the 3... Before it went to free to play, I got the 3-month subscription. I gotta tell you, I didn't make it 3 months. I didn't make it that long because I've never been one to have fun with MMO combat. It's one of those things where I didn't like the combat, I didn't like the story, I didn't like the characters, I didn't like anything. It's like, that's what we waited all this time for? That crap? And
It's funny that nobody's come out with an MMO strategic RPG. You know, just take something like, let's say, Final Fantasy Tactics. Just off the top of my head, that or Ogre Battle. Okay, that's your battle system right there.
Yeah, but
Nobody's done that.
But could you drive microtransactions with that? That's the better question.
I wouldn't, but you could drive a subscription with it.
Alright, we got 2 wings now. That's coming along pretty good. I mean, you won't really notice that it's lopsided. And the Inquisitor won't notice until he tries to fly it against an X-Wing and gets shot down in 5 seconds.
As for things to get excited about, there's one thing I am mildly positive about. I can't say that part of me wants to fanboy out, part of me wants to completely, absolutely mark out on it, but I can't. We just got news today, officially, with the trailer and everything, that Vampire the Masquerade 2, Bloodlines 2, is coming.
Let's just hope EA isn't going to make it.
No, it's actually Paradox. Paradox now owns them. They own White Wolf, Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels. My problem with it is it's Paradox. They normally make really good video games, but they own everything in regards to the old, World of Darkness / White Wolf. My issue is I've seen the new World of Darkness books, and the thing that pisses me off about it, there's trigger warnings.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Oh my god.
I'm really hoping this doesn't carry over to the video games and they just play it straight like old school World of Darkness. If they do that, they can't go wrong.
Yeah, but
if they put in safe space, trigger warnings, and all that malarkey, then yeah, pardon me, I'm just going to Kool-Aid man my way right into an active volcano.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but yeah. It's just, I don't really, this is going to make me sound like an asshole, I just don't really care that much about modern gaming anymore. It's like
I can't blame you.
It's like I've been burned so bad by so many games to the point where I just don't care. I'm going to replay my old games. I'm going to play some indie games. But like when it comes to anything RPG related, I'm just kind of done. For me, there's not going to be another Dragon Age. There's not going to be another. There's not going to be another KOTOR. So it's like, why should I even care at this point? And I don't. I just don't. Because those are some of my favorite games of all time. In fact, I recently started playing KOTOR again, and it's a night and day difference between a modern game and that. And KOTOR is not even really that amazing when compared. Well, okay, it is still amazing, but KOTOR is not as good as KOTOR 2, and it's like it is a night and day difference between those two games. Between that and a modern game, it's like the characters are better. The gameplay is actually fun. It's not just a bunch of easily figured out crap. It's like there's so much to love about Knights of the Old Republic 1. If you haven't played it, it's one of those games that I really recommend. That's the it's the second to last review of the year because I want to save the best for last. All right, we're down to one last wing.
And Jason, honestly, as a Neo Geo owner, get yourself original Neo Geo or emulator, whatever. Get yourself Samurai Showdown 2. That's the best in the entire series. As for Star Wars 1313 Darth, that's never coming out. It's dead. As much as I hate to say it, it's dead.
And as the cool kids say today, here's a hot take. It didn't look very good to begin with. Oh! Because...
Fair enough.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm Mr. Happy now because of some changes in life. And you know, even then, I'm still not changing my stance on gaming. I thought gaming was bad years ago. Like, everyone now is just starting to catch up to me. Because it's like, where's the KOTORs? Where's the Republic Commandos? Where's the Jedi Knights? You know, where are all of these games? So, when 1313's trailer dropped, many, many years ago, some of you probably weren't even born yet, I wasn't particularly impressed. Here's my problem. It looked like your typical third-person shooter generic garbage. And that's how I felt then, and that's how I feel now. It's like, it's one of those things, it's an interesting thing, though. That game didn't look particularly amazing to me back then, but I bet it looks amazing to people today who thought it looked like crap back then, because they want something so badly to be good at Star Wars that they're willing to accept whatever they get. And an interesting, it's not on the same scale as that, but when I do as a review I'm doing next month on Revenge of the Sith, the game. Now, for many, Revenge of the Sith, the game, probably looked pretty good. It's really not a bad game, but at the time, I felt it was really generic, lacking in any sort of, you know, originality, and, you know, it really did. It completely and totally lacked in originality. It wasn't particularly amazing or even particularly good. But by modern standards, it is. By modern standards, Revenge of the Sith is an amazing game. Why? Because it actually has gameplay that is advanced to a degree and fairly fun. But for the time, it really was a shape of things to come. And I'm going to mention all this in the review. You know, when you compare that to, say, like Bounty Hunter, I'm also reviewing that next month. Bounty Hunter was kind of like a Clone Wars tie-in of sorts. And, like, that had, you know, really memorable gameplay. It had Jango Fett. He was flying around shooting people. It was great. But Revenge of the Sith, it was just the movie with some dueling that was good. That's about it. It was just a one-hit... It was a one-note game that... Does it deserve to be remembered as being good? Your mileage may vary, as they say today, but it was nothing more than a mediocre game, but by modern standards, it actually is an amazing game, because, you know, it actually is a game. But back then, our standards were so high that just having a game wasn't good enough. And just having... And see, it looks perfectly fine. The Inquisitor will be none the wiser. Alright, we only got a few more minor details, but that is our TIE Advanced prototype. I was able to do it in just about an hour and a half. Now, I'm not going to end the stream just yet, because I got to add the little laser gubbins to it, and 2 more stickers. I don't know, what do you make of all that, Rain, of what I just said? Agree, disagree?
The standard has dropped. The problem is, and we're really seeing this with Gulag's newest announcement of them getting into gaming, I'm seeing everybody trying to monopolize the entire market and just drag it down. Things are not good. Oh, yeah, Jason, yeah, good luck with Hagane. That game is freaking hard. It's good, but it's freaking hard. But back on topic. Google Stadia. There's a reason in the group why I said it was a bad name, because you know what a Stadia is, right? It's a surveying tool. I.e., they're basically saying to you, without any lies, without any hyperbole, we're using this to monitor you.
Doeth. I did not put this. I put the things in wrong, but nobody will notice. It's just a little wrong. It's still good. It's still good.
Why does my barbecue look like that?
Exactly. All right. Well, what we've got here is the Inquisitor. He wants to fly around in his little spaceship, only he doesn't know that a rebel sympathizer, a one Naj Loddle, decided to build it just a little off spec. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what we have here is the TIE Advanced prototype. And oh, is it a prototype indeed. But you can't really notice that It's just a tiny bit off, just a little bit. All right, and I hope you guys enjoyed the Lego. There we go, the Lego Star Wars build. I do intend to do a few more of these as time goes on, but I'm glad to finally have done another and having built. So, final thoughts, Rain.
Hopefully, we'll be seeing some more interesting kits come out, as well as more interesting games. There's a lot of potential, along with the pitfalls.
And yes, that is true. But as far as I'm concerned, Lego, will it ever be good again? I don't know. I would like to see a cost-effective and affordable. Let's see if we can get that in frame. A cost-effective and affordable Star Destroyer, one that is under $200. I'd like to see, you know, a fair, let's say a 1,000-piece Star Destroyer for about $150. That way people could actually get one, you know.
I don't know about a Lego one, but with DLP printing and such coming down, we could actually make, you know, resin-based model kits using that for fairly inexpensively.
One day you may even see me try to build a Battlestar Galactica on here. I don't know, because that's a lot of pieces. Needs a lot of glue. So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, I see it says it took you 99 minutes to complete. We'll just say it took 2 days. 99 minutes, that's not bad. I mean, doing it on stream, chatting with Rain, chatting with the chat, and trying to pay attention to everything at once, I don't feel too bad about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Lego Star Wars in its purest form. I've got a bunch more Lego kits that I need to build, and I'll see about doing some more on stream. But for now, I'm General Lotz.
I'm ready.
And we're going to wish you good Death Star 2. That's hopefully not $5,000. Or whatever makes you happy.